We have to accept all the children that nobody else wants, because we're not grant maintained and we're not oversubscribed. And all those schools who want to keep up their... I'm going to lose my job over this. All those schools who really want to have their league tables looking very nice, I judge will get shot of their children who are going to pull them down.
League tables are designed to show what schools are doing and how well they're doing it. But they only measure final exam results. Children are examined every year, including the year they arrive at 11. And they arrive at Francis Coombs School in Watford from widely different backgrounds and with wildly different abilities.
My name's Gary Preston. I'm not the cleverest boy in the world, but I'm not the most stupid boy either. I live with my mum and dad, and I've got a brother and sister. My brother's older than me, but I'm bigger than him. I'm not interested in much, really. Don't like reading because it's boring. And certainly never read a book at home. I think I'm more bad than good. My favourite subject's PE, because I don't have to read and write in PE. My best friends are Stephen Pugh and Scott Walker. Scott's a bit of a boffin. Stephen's just mad. My name is Stephen Pugh. I live with my mum, my brother, my stepbrother, my stepsister, my stepdad. At the moment I've got all the latest computer games and I've nearly completed all of my games that I've got so far. I like mixing music. I just sit here listening to loads of tapes, and then if I get another tape that would be good to mix with it, then I just play them both together. I like collecting weapons, knives and guns.
My name is Scott Walker. I live with my mum, my stepdad and my sister. I'm not an angel and I'm not a devil. I'm in between. I've only got one memory of my real dad. Him and my mum arguing. It's the only memory I've got of him. I mean, I've got my stepdad now and he's like more special to me than my real dad. I used to want to be a stuntman. Now I'll probably go to be a policeman. I might go to the army. It's just the army, if there's ever a war, the army will be the first one to be called out.
What league tables don't measure is whether children of different ability have anything broader to gain from sharing one school. And in many ways, that's what being in a comprehensive is all about.
Because all three of us, like, sometimes bad, we get together. With all three of us, we have 2.5 brains altogether.
Yeah. Well, me and Stephen's got the ones and Gary's got the half. When we're together, we're trouble outside school.
You can talk. He goes around doing things, right? He gets in trouble. Then he's not allowed to hang around with me and Gary because his mum thinks we're a bad influence on him. We're not even there.
But you get seriously done sometimes. Some teachers know what you're doing and some teachers don't. So the teachers that don't punish you more than the teachers that do. You know what I mean?
Right, I'll give you this for that roll. Oh, look, I'll give you that for that roll.
It must have okay there.
Hey, come on, I see that roll there. Right, I'll give you that for that roll. Look, it's a decent compass. Right.
Just give it. We're not really a terrible threesome. We just muck about a bit. Well, everyone does. Yeah.
The Hertfordshire League Table also omits to tell you that Francis Coombs is surrounded by selective schools and inevitably gets more than its fair share of hard cases.
Last year we identified 54 children who had reading ages, I would say, significantly below the chronological age. They had attendant, specific learning difficulties, some of them, and then there were emotional, behavioural and social problems too. So you were talking about 54 children in an intake of about 90.
Few of those 54 will be so educationally needy that they'll get any financial support from the local authority. but the school is still expected to provide the help those children require.
Gary, being that he's so quiet, needs all the help he can get. He will never be a brain, no matter how much extra lessons you give Gary. We know that, but he does need more help.
We thought it was his eyesight. That's why he had trouble reading, writing, you know, all that. Anyway, we took him to the hospital and he asked Gary to write something down. As soon as he wrote that down, he said, there's nothing wrong with his eyesight. He said he's dyslexic.
The school has also decided that Gary Preston needs particular help. He's been invited to join Marlene Broadhead's special needs reading class. She only has room for 18 children in the group, but Gary's 2 friends are invited along for a few weeks to get him used to the idea.
Question time. Hands by your sides, ready. There are 3 questions here. I'm going to pick out the one that gets the hands up first. Put your hands by your sides, please.
I can't get my hands up.
By your side. Jerry, stop being a show-off.
Having 2 of them there who don't desperately need my help avoids the labelling, so the rest of the Year 7 can't say, oh, well, that place is for dimbos. I suppose I know Gary from primary school and his brother, because I taught them in the primary school a long time ago, and a couple of little urchins.
E. Let's do the words. Nearly.
The reason behind Gary coming up to me is that even a little bit of this help with a lot of positive reinforcement may just improve his very low self-worth. And if we can do that, that might give him a little bit more confidence, because he thinks he's absolutely worth nothing.
OK. Cover up, please, with your hand or your cover card. Gary, I'll let you have a try at spelling. First. F-I-R-S-T. Brilliant. What's that?
It's a divider.
What are you doing with that? It looks lethal.
That's why I have it.
That's why you have it. Why?
It's got long stuff.
No, that is not a good idea.
Oh, thanks, Stephen.
I'll give it you at home time. Not a good idea, Scott.
He used to tell my sister and my brother, he says you back halfway through the lesson.
Naughty, naughty. Right, come on then. Things take a bad turn. Right, come on then, off we go.
If we could only have some more resources. We've got to actually change their attitude to themselves. They've actually got to be able to say, yeah, I am worthwhile. I am good. I might not be brilliant at maths or good, but I'm a good person. And Gary's a good person. He's lovely, got a lovely smile. And he's willing and he's really keen to learn and he wants to do well. And Scott's there egging him on. And if he can take that with him for the rest of his life, he's got a lot more than a lot of people have got.
It won't reach. Will, I've done it.
But putting together children of very different abilities is not without its risks.
Twice and a half. That don't make sense, does it? Burst? Stephen, you can get past me, can't you? Because we can't. I'm going fly lessons.
Gary finds it hard to make friends, so it's a hard decision to say, you are not going to play with these children. Gary will rebel against that anyway, probably, if I did it. But Stephen, from what I can gather, can do the work. Therefore, he sits down, he does the work. And because he's finished, he'll then muck about, which Gary thinks, oh, well, I'll have a muck about now too. But Gary hasn't finished his work because he's so far behind. I know when the 3 are together, they're right little buggers, so they obviously muck about quite a bit.
I can't believe you got the guts to do that. I'd never do that.
First, me and Gary used to hang around. And then Stephen was in Gary's class and they became friends. And because me and Gary were friends, it started us 3. Gary's the leader and Stephen follows on behind. But sometimes he goes over the top.
No way! It's too slow. Oh, we're going to the other one next year.
Gary, he can be all right. He just, from like a real young age, he was like a hoodlum.
Stephen, you're going to go on the sitting one. Yeah, if the snick snaps, probably peach. Stick.
As a threesome, how can you put this? The 3 of them are just like one person. If one person goes, because that person has gone, those 2 will either stop him or they have to go with him.
your hand up if you can tell me how many lines of symmetry that's got as well. It's definitely got order 2 rotation, but Ross... 2. It's got...
But however comprehensive the school, Gary, Scott and Stephen cannot stay together academically. Francis Coombs sets in most subjects, and within a few months, Stephen and Scott are in the top maths class.
An example of one that's really difficult to do. Has it got any lines of symmetry as well? Try and think of a shape that's got order 3 rotation, okay?
Engine change.
Brilliant.
Gary, on the other hand, must continue with the reading classes.
2 vowelmen out walking.
He'll stand little chance in any of the other subjects if he makes no progress here.
My vision for this department is that for children this becomes a place of safety.
Heave.
When you're only 11 and you're coming into a big school and you've got learning difficulties and you're very frightened, 1 hour a day up there in a non-stressful sort of atmosphere, you know, even if they get it wrong, that was a good try.
Now, would you say it?
Heave.
They themselves, once they get into the programme, do begin to feel a lot more confident.
What does protection mean? Protection.
I get the buzz from seeing those children leave me feeling a little bit more successful.
Brilliant. You didn't use the word protection in your explanation. You're learning. Joe.
I always say to the mums when they come to me, if you were asked to bake a cake for a week and every day it flopped, and when you gave it to the family at night, they all laughed at you. You'd never bake another cake, but we expect children to come into school every day of their life and their cake flops and people laugh at them. And they do, children can be very cruel. And we say to them, but school's the best time of your life, you know, enjoy it. Why the hell should they? Why should they? Many of them have failed from the day they walked through that door.
Off you go. Can you look at it, Gary? Look at it.
Rotation.
Well done.
There is kids there that aren't even getting the help Gary gets.
Clean.
I've spoke to teachers. There is just so many children at the school that need help, and there isn't the facilities to help them. So those children really don't stand much of a chance, I don't think.
Here we go. See, that's... we went through the sounds. That's an sound at the end.
We rarely lose a child here. They become inordinately proud of Francis Coombs because all the staff here are incredibly caring. They wouldn't be here otherwise because it's not an easy job.
Say it again.
Clever.
Look at the pattern.
Do I get cross? At what? The system? Very much so. They deserve better. And don't get me on that tack because I shall really get angry.
Go on.
They deserve better. They deserve better, these children. They start off with not a good chance. And they're at the bottom of the pile, special needs.
Now close your eyes and see it in your head. Can you see it? Spell it.
C-E-R...
Nearly.
C-L-E-V-E-D.
Nearly. Clever. Listen.
E-R.
Right, say the whole word again.
C-L... R...
No, see it in your head. C-L...
E-V-E... No.
Yes, yeah.
E-D.
Nearly. Think of the ending. Clever. Listen to the sounds. Clever.
E-R.
Wonderful. Give him a clap, everybody. That was hard. The league table might tell you that we don't do brilliantly GCSE. We don't do so badly and we get kids into Oxbridge. But for the vast majority of children, the sheer hard work here enables them to go out from this school reasonably confident in all sorts of areas.
Children's going on camp. Could you make a line here and Mr. Lovis will tick you off?
One way the school tries to build confidence is by taking the children away from classrooms and exams altogether.
To go on in the box. Okay? Right, so you on camp? Scott Walker. Oh, he's here, thank God. We're going to go without you, Scott.
For as long as anyone can remember, staff and pupils at Francis Coombs have been expected to go away on camps. And most important of all is the Year 7 camp in Wales, for all the pupils in their first summer half-term. For many of the children, this will be the first time they've ever been away from home. By the time they arrive on the Welsh coast, the camp has already been set up, by a team of staff and older pupils.
So you want a three-man tent now?
Yeah, let's have that one. What about that one? That one's a three-man, ain't it? Yeah, it's already taken.
That tent's already taken. I think you might have to squeeze in this one.
What about that one? That one can't be taken.
Well, you can go in that one then, but it's the same size.
Can you do?
Pleased to have you.
What?
Pleased to have you. Right, we'll get your luggage in a sec.
I've got a lot of luggage.
Thank you, guys. Big enough, isn't it?
Want any more? Come back.
No? Yeah.
Many teachers believe that the truly lasting lessons these children will learn at school will have nothing to do with equations or dates or spelling.
I suppose what we try to do is build relationships with the children in the first year that are going to stand them and us, teachers and pupils, in good stead for the rest of the 4 years or possibly 6 years that they'll be with us. We just kind of infect them with a virus, if you like, for the rest of their school life. And being on that camp as a teacher and being on that camp as a pupil, a kid, is a vital part of that process.
Here we go. I am the music man. I come from every way and I can play.
What can you play?
I can play the piano. Piano, 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 piano.
I think the teachers make you go to camp to get to know your teachers more. See, when you're on camp, the teachers are more lenient and more friendly then than they are at school. You can have a laugh with them, you get to know them more.
To take them away from here and from the now for a moment and to let them experience a different world just for a week is something that you can never ever calculate in pure financial or other terms.
Bring me my treasure.
You live here?
I do. I live in a cave by the sea.
Is it a nice life?
No, it's not. I've got lots of special needs. You all got the
treasure?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Twaddle.
The benefits of the camp are so immense. The way in which pupils see teachers lose their front and lose their image for the sake of having fun. When they come round the corner and they see this policeman astride the middle of the road and holding a truncheon up and everything, and then they look for a minute and do a double take and they think, wow, that's Mr. Carr.
Stop! In the name of the law!
See, I have some questions. I want somebody to tell me the sequence of the common British traffic lights.
Oh! Red, amber, and green.
There's more.
Red, amber, green. Red, amber,
You may proceed.
amber, green.
Slow down as you go up the steeper bits.
Half the week is spent camping on the coast, the other half at a youth hostel in Snowdonia.
You know I told you about King Arthur being chucked in a cave? It's straight ahead in that cliff. If you've got a hat, it'll be worth putting them on.
Help me! Don't go in that one, it's cold! Everyone's swimming! Oi! Bang, bang, bang! Come on, stay camera. It's lovely!
However clever or successful they may be in school, a week in Wales turns out for some to be too long, too cold, and too far away from home.
Stop. Go. Stop. Stephen got overexcited and grabbed me trainers, put it in the water so it's like soaked. And I thought, well, I'll get him back. And I threw his towel in the water. Then I had Stephen and 4 other people, like, grabbing my stuff and, like, trying to throw it in the water.
I got a smile at you then, didn't I?
Come with me, mate. Come on. Where's all your stuff?
Nick's.
Nick? What do you mean, Nick?
Move back. 5, 6, 7.
Mr. Ford picked me up and carried me back to the hostel. I didn't know it at the time, but I was tired because I completely crashed out.
In education, we are more and more governed by the need to measure performance in every single way. And in any school across the country, there are so many aspects of school life which cannot be measured by a performance criteria, but are of incredible value. You take leavers dinner speeches and so on. The number of times that the Year 7 or the Year 9 camp are mentioned as a key memory of their school life is amazing. Oh my dear! Incidents that have occurred, things that you've long forgotten as a person that took them there, they bring up and remind you with a monotonous regularity, and those were crucial parts of their development as individuals.
September, and Stephen, Scott and Gary are now in Year 8, and under the authority of a new head of year.
Turn the volume down a bit because there's 110 of you and only one of me. Excuse me. Are the Year 8 boys behaving themselves again? That's twice I've spoken to you a day in 10 minutes. How come you're out of line as well? I spoke to you yesterday. Stephen Pugh, Scott Walker and Gary Preston have got to be my worst nightmare. They are all 3 of them lovely boys. You talk to them, they're great. They are full of life, raring to go, absolutely happy as Larry. But in a classroom, oh my goodness me.
I don't even want some water. I don't even want water. Why then? See you next year.
Oh no! I don't know, they're just so full of life that they just don't know when to stop. They haven't, because they're so young, they haven't reached that age where they push, push, push and they know where to stop. These 3 boys do not know where to stop.
The comfortable environment of special needs is now over for Gary as he starts his 2nd year. To help him settle into the mainstream, the school is using precious resources for a part-time teacher to support him in his English classes.
Yeah? Gary, would you move over here, please? No, because then you can sit next to... Gary, please.
Okay, boys, that's enough.
Although he's still struggling to keep up with his friends in class, Gary's real problems are not fundamentally academic ones.
The way Gary is performing at the moment, I think he's on a very slippery slope. I think if something doesn't happen to Gary soon, he's going to end up in so much trouble that I don't think it will matter about his education because he won't be around to appreciate it anyway. It's just his total disregard at the moment as to what he should be doing and what he can do.
Well, Gary's really quite worrying. The gap between what he can actually achieve and what his friends are achieving is ever widening. And so now we have the attendant behavioural problems where the staff are really concerned about his behaviour inside the class and outside. Chair up here, sweetheart. All right?
Can you look at me? There's nothing to be worried about, okay? Who's told you?
All the teachers.
All the teachers. How do you feel about that, Gary?
Not bad.
You feel okay about being told off? Hmm? Is that because you think you deserve it?
Yeah.
Why do you deserve it?
Just look around.
Well, I've heard that you're really super duper at art. Are you good at art?
No.
You're not? Don't you see yourself as being very good at art? What do you see yourself being very good at, Gary?
Nothing.
Nothing. You'll be okay with the right support. Well, aren't you happy, darling? If we could only have a few more special needs teachers, if we could have some more resources, if somebody would just acknowledge that there is that problem there and that these children deserve just as much funding as these technology colleges and the grant-maintained schools and all the rest, if not more. We accept all the children that nobody else wants. I'm not sure where we go from there, are you, Gary? And yet I see you as being very special. Okay, you always give me a lovely smile, as I said before, and I want to help you. But you won't tell me why you're unhappy in school, so I don't know how to help you.
Once more, Gary and his friends are being examined. The results will confirm the growing academic distance between them, but the exam won't measure any of the work done outside the classroom, nor will it reflect, for good or for ill, the friendship between the three boys.
So can I have a screw now, please?
A screw for this?
I've seen lots of kids like Gary, and I think he will survive. I think the way the school handles him, the way the school deals with him, he's on the whole very, very positive. And if he's positive about school, then it's very hard for him to fail. The fact that they are all friends is incredible, because their academic abilities are totally different. It's possible that in some circumstances they might not even be at the same school. Being at Francis Coombe allows them the privilege of knowing each other and being able to get on with each other. And I would have thought the friendship that they make at the age of 11 is something that will last.
So, you brilliant kids, what are you going to be when you grow up?
Mechanic! Yeah! Stephen's turn.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a computer and graphics designer. A person that beats up people like Gary. Or a mechanic.
He'd be a mechanic, innit?
Scott's turn. Oh yeah, you don't even know what a cold
I don't know
is.
what I'm going to be when I get older.
Excuse me.